Before getting started actually building with Qdrant, we need to first install it. There's multiple ways in which you can deploy Qdrant since it's fully open source, so let's talk about a few of the main ones here. One very easy and common way to use Qdrant is with Docker for local testing and deployment only, since it's not a production ideal environment, but you can easily get started with these two commands right here. Make sure to change path2data to the actual location that you want to store your data. Make sure Docker is running, and you can just paste those two commands in your terminal. You can also use Docker Compose to run Qdrant. And here's an example of a customized compose file that you would use to run a single node Qdrant cluster. You can also use our Kubernetes Helm chart to deploy Qdrant in your Kubernetes cluster, or directly using the Qdrant binaries to run any processor architecture that you like. But hey, in this course, we really don't want to be managing Kubernetes clusters or servers to scale our application. So we're going to be using Qdrant Cloud because our goal here is to learn vector search rather than infrastructure. So I'm going to walk you through the process of getting your first API key from your Qdrant Cloud cluster. So a very easy way to get to Qdrant Cloud is simply going to qdrant.tech and clicking on Get Started. This way you're going to be taken to the sign up page for Qdrant Cloud, and you can simply sign up in the preferred way that you want. I'm just going to use Google. Okay, so now we're logged in, and here we can create our free cluster. That is a 1 GB free forever cluster that Qdrant gives without the need of a credit card. So we're going to be using that, and it's going to be more than enough for our experiments. And just let's name it my first cluster. So click on Create Cluster, and basically now we're going to see the option to generate an API key. So this is my key. I'm going to copy it because I'm going to need it later, and make sure to save it somewhere secure because you won't be able to see this API key again. You'll be able to request it again, but just copy it. It's going to make your life easier. So now we are waiting for our cluster to get started. So here in the cluster page, we can see here the status is creating, and in a few seconds, this cluster will be ready to use. So let's click on it, and there's a lot of information here of how much RAM, CPU, and disk I'm using in this cluster. And there's also many other options that you can see to keep track of your cluster's health. So now our cluster is ready. So let's go see now the web UI. The Qdrant web UI can be accessed here in the open dashboard. And here you can see that we're going to need to paste the API key that we copied earlier. So let's just send our API key here, and we are within the web UI of Qdrant. The web UI is a place where you can see what's happening within your Qdrant cluster and interact with it as well. So you can use the console to send commands directly to your cluster. There's also a view of the collections that you have. Right now, we don't have any collections, so we can't see anything. And there's a bunch of cool tutorials that you can get started just seeing how Qdrant works in practice and trying out some of our features. There's also the datasets tab, where there's a few datasets that you can use to play around within your tutorials. We're going to see more of the web UI later on, but right now we have everything we need to get started with using Qdrant and using our Qdrant cluster. To get started for the next video, just head back to the Qdrant Cloud dashboard, and you're going to need this URL endpoint for your cluster and the API key that you just saved earlier. Save those two securely, and let's get started to the tutorial inserting your first vectors to a collection.